They advertise a low price online, but by the time you check out, your bill has mysteriously doubled. They promise you an experience of a lifetime, but deliver a nightmare of confusing charges and corporate indifference. The entire system is engineered to make you feel powerless. In this video, we are counting down the 6 hotels that have mastered the art of the tourist trap. But are these just isolated scams? Or is this the new officially sanctioned business model for the entire city? What happens when the house always wins, even before you have left your hotel room? With its iconic pink exterior and prime center strip location, the Flamingo should be a slam dunk for tourists seeking the classic Vegas experience. The property leverages its storied history and unbeatable location to command premium rates. But what you find inside those flamingo pink walls tells a different story. The Flamingo's strategy is simple. They know you booked for the location, so why maintain quality when you are already trapped? Walk through the casino floor and you might still be impressed with the atmosphere. But head up to your room and reality sets in quickly. Paper-thin walls mean you will hear every word, laugh, and argument from your neighbors. The decor, despite periodic refreshes, always seems to be just a few years past its prime. One TripAdvisor reviewer wrote that they could hear the couple next door having an argument at 2 a.m., then making up very loudly at 3 a.m. When they called the front desk, they were told the hotel was fully booked and could not move them. Another common complaint is the property's complete inability or unwillingness to control noise levels. Bachelor and bachelorette parties run wild through hallways at all hours, with security nowhere to be found. It is as if management has decided that enforcing basic courtesy would cut into their bottom line. The Flamingo knows exactly what it is doing. They are banking on first-time visitors who will be too dazzled by the strip location and too tired after a day of traveling to complain or request a room change. By the time you realize what you have gotten yourself into, you have already paid, and moving hotels means additional hassle and expense. Number 5. Tropicana Las Vegas. One of the oldest properties still standing, the Tropicana has managed to turn vintage Vegas charm into an excuse for decades of deferred maintenance. Walking into the Tropicana feels like stepping back in time, and not in the good way that properties like the Golden Steer Steakhouse have mastered. The musty smell that greets you in certain hallways tells the story of a property that has given up on competing with modern standards. The aging infrastructure shows up in unpredictable ways. Elevators that take forever, plumbing that makes mysterious noises, and climate control systems that seem to have 2 settings, an Arctic blast or a Sahara desert. Perhaps most telling is the atmosphere on the casino floor. Vegas casinos should pulse with energy, but the Tropicana gaming floor often feels like the party ended years ago and nobody bothered to clean up. Empty tables and half-filled slot areas say a lot about management priorities. A Reddit user posted that when even the staff apologize for the condition of your room, you know you are in trouble. The bellman literally said sorry about this when he opened the door to my room. That should have been my cue to turn around and leave. The Tropicana business model seems to be coasting on location and name recognition while investing the bare minimum in the actual guest experience. They are counting on a steady stream of first-time visitors who will not know any better until it is too late. Number 4. The former Hooters Hotel, now OYO Hotel and Casino. This property proves that a name change and a fresh coat of paint cannot hide fundamental problems. Located just off the Strip, this hotel charges near Strip prices for accommodations that would make a budget motel chain blush. The OYO experience typically includes sticky floors that never quite feel clean, regardless of how recently housekeeping visited. The air conditioning units in many rooms sound like jet engines, forcing guests to choose between a comfortable temperature and the ability to sleep or hold a conversation. The overall atmosphere feels like a budget spring break, with all the chaos and noise of youth-oriented revelry, and without any of the charm or energy of a well-managed property. Security is often nowhere to be found when needed, and then it magically appears when a guest complains too loudly about conditions. One Google reviewer wrote that they had stayed at roadside motels that were cleaner and quieter than this place, and that the hotel is charging Strip prices for accommodations that would not pass inspection in most cities. The rebranding from Hooters to OYO appears to have been less about improving the guest experience and more about wiping the slate clean on online reviews and establishing a new identity to lure unsuspecting tourists. Rebranding does not fix broken infrastructure. It just tricks new victims into booking rooms they will regret. Formerly known as the Stratosphere, this property uses its iconic observation tower to lure tourists into staying at what might be the most inconveniently located major hotel in Vegas. The Strat stands at the far north end of the Strip, isolated from the action and surrounded by neighborhoods that even locals avoid after dark. The hotel's marketing materials prominently feature the tower and thrill rides, creating the impression of a central, exciting location. What they do not mention is the mile-long walk through increasingly sketchy surroundings to reach the nearest major casino. They also fail to mention that you do not need to stay at the hotel to visit the observation deck. Anyone can buy a ticket. One TripAdvisor reviewer wrote that they booked because the pictures of the tower looked amazing. They said they did not realize they would need to take a taxi every time they wanted to go anywhere. After dark, the walk feels downright dangerous. Safety concerns around the Strat are not exaggerated. Local rideshare drivers have countless stories of picking up distressed tourists who attempted to walk back to the hotel late at night and quickly realized their mistake. The property knows its location is problematic. They run shuttles to the Central Strip, but they continue to market themselves as a full-fledged Strip experience. Inside, the hotel itself is often underwhelming compared to similarly priced options in better locations. It is as if management knows that once you have checked in, you are essentially trapped due to the inconvenient location, so why bother competing on quality? Number 2. Excalibur, the medieval-themed casino that seemingly offers medieval standards of comfort and service. With its castle exterior and family-friendly image, Excalibur attracts thousands of first-time Vegas visitors, particularly families with children who are drawn to the approachable theming and a relatively lower price point. What these families discover upon arrival is a property that has mastered the art of underwhelming experiences. The paper-thin walls mean you will become intimately familiar with your neighbors' conversations, television choices, and nighttime activities. Long check-in times, often stretching to an hour or more during peak periods, set the tone for a stay marked by disorganized management and understaffed departments. When you're hearing hallway conversations word for word all night, you realize you paid for the privilege of getting no sleep, commented one visitor on a Vegas forum. And good luck getting any response when you call the front desk to complain. The property's design funnels all guests through the casino floor to reach the elevators, ensuring that even families with young children must navigate through smoking areas and blaring slot machines multiple times daily. This is not accidental. It is a deliberate strategy to maximize gambling exposure for every guest. Excalibur knows exactly who its target market is. Budget-conscious families experiencing Vegas for the first time, who will not know that the quality they are receiving is substandard for the price they are paying. By the time these guests realize they could have had a much better experience elsewhere for only slightly more money, they are already locked into their stay. Number 1. Circus Circus. No property embodies Vegas's transformation into a tourist trap more completely than this North Strip relic. Circus Circus has perfected the art of exploiting families by marketing itself as one of the few kid-friendly options on the Strip, while delivering an experience that often ruins family vacations. The property advertises its indoor Adventure Dome theme park and its midway games heavily, positioning itself as a family paradise. What they do not advertise are the rooms from the 1990s, with worn carpets and that distinctive old Vegas smell that no amount of air freshener seems to eliminate. Weekends at Circus Circus transform the property into a special kind of chaos. The hallways fill with unsupervised children running between rooms while parents try their luck at the casino downstairs. Security is notoriously unresponsive, creating an atmosphere where anything goes. Cleanliness issues appear frequently in reviews. One visitor said they found food under the bed from previous guests. When they called housekeeping, they were told someone would be sent up, but nobody ever came. The strategy is cynical and calculated. Circus Circus targets parents who want to bring kids to Vegas. Knowing these families have limited options, the property has calculated that families will tolerate substandard conditions because moving to another hotel mid-vacation with children in tow is simply too daunting. A Reddit user summed it up this way: once you have promised your kids the Adventure Dome and checked in with all your luggage, you're going to put up with just about anything rather than disappoint your children and go through the hassle of changing hotels. TripAdvisor is flooded with warnings about all 6 of these properties. Reddit threads expose their tactics in painful detail. Social media is filled with vacation horror stories centered around these hotels. Yet they continue to operate at high occupancy rates because confused tourists don't research until it's too late, or don't know how to interpret the warnings they do find. This isn't about 6 bad hotels. This is about a business model that has infected the entire city. These properties prove that in modern Vegas, you can deliver the worst experience and still profit, as long as you confuse tourists with misleading advertising and make changing plans difficult once they arrive. These hotels represent the bottom tier of a systematic strategy to segment customers. They're designed to be bad, to push you toward premium properties while still extracting money from budget travelers. The worst part? The premium properties use many of the same tactics, just with nicer furnishings to distract you. The only way this changes is if tourists become informed consumers. Research beyond the glossy photos on hotel websites. Read recent reviews from actual guests. Calculate the true cost of your stay before booking by adding resort fees, parking fees, and all the other charges they do not mention prominently. Vegas used to promise that anyone could have a good time, regardless of budget. Now it has become a city designed to punish the unprepared and reward only those who can afford to pay triple the advertised price. The democratization of luxury that Vegas once represented has been replaced by a sophisticated system of tourist extraction. If you've been scammed by any of these hotels, you're not alone, and it is not your fault. These corporations are counting on your silence. Drop a comment with your worst Vegas hotel experience and hit subscribe if you want more investigations that expose how they are ripping off regular people. Which hotel betrayed you the most?